Hi everybody, Robert Dyer, and welcome to the Robert Dyer channel Christmas Countdown, where if you're in a part of the country where it's as cold as it is here, you're certainly looking for any hot beverage at this point, whether you're indoors or out, and that might include a hot cup of coffee, but you need something to go into the coffee. And tonight I have a very special Christmas product that's new this year from International Delight. And this is, it couldn't be more of a Christmas product than this. The Home Alone Hot Chocolate Marshmallow Coffee Creamer. Holy smokers. And this has some pretty nice artwork on here that I'm going to zoom in for you to look at more closely because it is pretty detailed. But there's I do have to point out that they are calling it Home Alone, but the artwork on the package, if you can't tell already, you will when I zoom in. It's all from Home Alone 2, which takes place in New York, not Chicago. And so they kind of got it wrong on that one. You can see there's the bridge in Central Park, as you see in the movie. The Penguin also took a dive off of that in Batman Returns. You see the two criminals over here. Street lamps, the Plaza Hotel, I presume. The pigeons, and then you have this new entry here, the Marshmallow Snowman, and then you have this somewhat iconic face, and up here you have the movie logo. Wrong movie though. Then you have this message on the side: you can be too old for a lot of things, but not hot chocolate marshmallow. And I'll say that I'm not really that big a fan of Home Alone. I respect it as a holiday movie. The more holiday movies, the more Christmas movies we have, the better. So I try to respect anybody who makes a Christmas movie. I would say there's probably just 4 things that I like about Home Alone, the original. First of all is the house. The house is probably the best character in the movie. It's got the 3rd floor, basically a usable attic. So the house kind of steals the show, especially because I'm not really interested in this kind of a movie. And in fact, I recall not only did the house recently sell in real life, but also a few years ago they had a Lego version of the house, and it was, as you would expect, it was like $300. It's unbelievable what's happening in America, where everything is becoming just for the rich only, that Disney World is just for the rich to get in, and now even these things like Legos, you have to have big bucks unless you just get the little tiny sets. And something like Dungeons and Dragons, it costs a fortune to get the books and the supplies and things for that these days. It's become a hobby of the rich, unless people are shoplifting them or something. So, but I'll say the Lego house, it even had the little furnace in the basement. Many fine details. I certainly would like to have that, but not at that price. Home Alone 2, again, there wasn't much for me in that, but I liked the Plaza Hotel. I never stayed there, but I ate at the, what is it called, the Palm Court restaurant the first time I went to New York City. And I like New York in general, although I thought it was odd. I say I'm pretty obsessed with New York City, the whole thing. all the boroughs. But I have to say that there's no movies that have ever made New York City look more drab and depressing than Home Alone 2 and Elf. I don't know what it is about the cinematography in those movies, but how do you make New York City drab and depressing? I don't know, but it's when, you know, when the Plaza Hotel scenes are fine, but when they go outside, that's the weird part. And well, I forgot about the other things, the other positive things about Home Alone. John Candy appearing. As you know, I have a John Candy award on this channel, a big fan of John Candy. And the Metro train, the commuter train, makes an appearance from the Chicago area at some point. And finally, another cameo appearance by Crunch Taters, probably the greatest potato chips of all time. Crunch Taters. Now let's go ahead and I've got the coffee here. This piping hot beverage, as some people would say. And let's see this, open the lid here. Well, right away there's a cocoa hot chocolate aroma. Not really detecting any marshmallow aroma. So let's pour this in here. Get plenty in there because stir this up. Okay, now it's out in the... I'm a maximalist when it comes to hot cocoa because I like to have, you know, why not marshmallows, whipped cream, marshmallow cream. As Rick Perry says, why not? Well, I'm getting more of the coffee now. I'm using a dark roast, which smells and tastes very good by itself. But now that I've added the Home Alone creamer, let's go ahead and see how it tastes. Oh boy, that's a wonderful hot beverage when it's so cold outside here. It's definitely giving a chocolate. It's kind of interesting because you're getting a hot chocolate flavor, but without that gritty chocolate cocoa powder constantly coming separated from the coffee or the cocoa. Marshmallow is fairly weak so far. You might want to pop in some, I never thought of it for coffee, you might want to pop in marshmallows and some marshmallow cream in here to boost the marshmallow. But it's definitely, it's not just a hot chocolate flavor, but it's a good hot chocolate flavor. And just enough marshmallow to be able to make the claim. But so I'm going to say that makes a delicious cup of coffee. And I mean, you might question, but why am I, you know, if you wanted hot chocolate, why not just make a mug of hot chocolate, which I think is a viable question. But the way I see it is that if you're going to be having coffee, you need the caffeine. You're going, you know, most people still have to work leading up to the holidays. Some people even have to work on the holidays. You got to remember the people who keep everything moving in the country. keep doing all the essential jobs while others have the day off on Christmas. But you know, you may need a caffeine for whatever reason, and therefore you want to have something you can remember it's the Christmas season with every sip. And this will certainly fit the bill for that, although it's really more about the theme of the Home Alone tie-in as a Christmas movie more than hot cocoa specifically meaning Christmas. I think of eggnog and cranberry flavors being more related, but I think best of all they did a lot of good work on the artwork of this package. It's really got a great Christmas scene, even if they got the movie wrong. It's like somebody didn't know, hadn't seen the movies, and they only knew the one from the number 2. So they went ahead and drew all this up, and then they said, oh, well, we'll go ahead and use it anyway. It's kind of the drawing of whatever his name is with the face here. It's a really like a childlike drawing, but on the other hand, I think I'd rather see that than that face. So I would highly recommend this, and this is certainly not only something you could put out for, I don't know if there's, yeah, I guess you might have coffee creamer out at a Christmas party, maybe an office party. Bring this into the office for some Christmas spirit. That's another idea. And then, of course, if you're going to watch the Christmas movies and specials, and perhaps most of all if you're a fan of Home Alone, then you've probably already got this in your refrigerator as I speak. So I'm going to say I'm going to go ahead and I'm being generous in the Christmas spirit that with the packaging, and I'm going to pretend I'm a big fan of Home Alone, and I think for those of you who are, that this is a great thing they've done. You know, I would like to see It's a Wonderful Life or Charlie Brown Christmas coffee creamer. So for those of you who are big fans of Home Alone, I'm sure you appreciate what they've done with this. So I'm going to go ahead and give this a just squeak over the line to 5 stars out of 5, largely on this artwork and just the fact that it has a good taste. So I hope you like this video. Share it with your friends. Please subscribe, and I'll see you next time tomorrow on this Christmas countdown. Bye, everybody.